Only a second? Wow.
All right, we're live.
With a ball pit.
Alrighty.
Say my wife's good.
So tonight we are going to continue the components class with the divination portion. So, caveat on this. Yes, there's less stuff on the table. That does not mean there's less stuff that you can use for divination. I'm going to be doing this more from my specific background and practice, which is more shamanistic. So there's only a few things that I actually use in divination. There is a large quantity of things out there that you can use. I highly encourage the rabbit hole, always. The next 3 weeks classes are, next week is self-empowerment and self-resurrection and rebirth. The week after that is sleep, healing, and detox. And then the last week that we will be doing the components classes, we are ending it on breaker of chains and curses. So we'll get into that.
Why'd you stare at me?
Huh?
Why'd you stare at me?
Well, I was looking at the phone.
Oh.
Okay.
I feel better about you looking at the phone. Made me self-conscious. I'm sorry.
Are you guilty of something?
No,
He is from Southern Louisiana. So.
I really don't feel guilt.
Yeah.
So when you ask me if I'm guilty of something, no.
That's the problem.
Can you get implicated in something?
So, basically, tonight, like I said, we're going to dip into divination a little bit. So, that covers things like tarots, oracle, runes, scrying, throwing bones, and honestly, my personal favorite, getting fucked up and talking to one's ancestors. That's how I do things. So, all of these and many, many more are a form of divination. I mean, you have tea leaf readings, you have fire scrying, there's, Jesus, I had it marked in this big-ass goddamn book.
The encyclopedia.
Yes, exactly what it is.
It didn't have the signature thunk.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that on this small-ass table. Because knowing my luck, this bitch would fold in half, and that's Crystal's computer.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. She's probably watching and going, you had better.
But you have things like bibliomancy, is where you literally take a book, you lay it down, randomly open it, close your eyes, and randomly touch portions of the page, and that's how you do your divination. You also have ways where it involves using dice methods in the book. And then you have things like I said, tea leaf readings. You have bird sign divinations. And hell, there's even one in here that's, an axe head divination. Basically, you take the axe head and you heat it up red hot. You lay it to where the edge is perpendicularly up. And you set an agate on top of it. And if the agate jumps off... Wait, what? How does it say here? If the agate stays on the axe head, this constitutes a negative response. If it rolls away, leaping off, as it were, this is a positive confirmation of your query. Repeat multiple times for confirmation. There's also arrow divination, where you take 3 arrows and leave one blank, write yes or no, or different things like that, and you just shoot them with your eyes closed, and the ones you actually find is your divination. It is ridiculous the amount of different kinds of divination that are out there that just...
Is this a misdemeanor in the city?
If you use that, please do not shoot it straight up.
Yeah, don't shoot it straight up. Please go that way a little bit. Look, those of us who grew up in the 80s will tell you the thing that is lawn darts gets vastly more terrifying when it's a fucking bodkin. For those of you who don't know what a bodkin is, Google it. So... But just a few different kinds of divinations that are out there, and you can always go into it and adjust things and do it your own way. I mean, one of the things I was reading in here, the bibliomancy one, was there's like 5 different ways in this book alone that explains roughly how to do it. So the first herb we're going to go over tonight is blue lotus. So here you go. Hand that around. So blue lotus originates in the northern and central African continent. Considered sacred to the ancient Egyptians, this flower is featured heavily in a lot of temple artwork.
Don't do that.
He caught a little bit in his nose. He's going to have some fun things happen a little bit later.
The look was priceless. I can't return.
So,
Ask the flowers, is James allergic to locusts?
No, it doesn't itch.
It just smells like hay.
yeah.
I got
I know, but hay makes me usually sneeze. That's why I was like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
So, it's featured heavily in temple artwork and a lot of artwork depicting pharaohs because for the ancient Egyptians, they believed the central yellow portion of the blue lotus blossom is the origin of Osiris, or sorry, the god Ra. Because the blue lotus will bloom for 3 to 5 days and it will actually, like a sunflower, follow the sun. And so they believed that that was the origin point of the god Ra, was the center of a blue lotus flower. And through essentially its ties with Ra and Osiris, is it became heavily tied into the pharaohs and ruling class of ancient Egypt. So it's all featured on a lot of the artwork, a lot of the depictions of them in clothing and everything like that, thrones. Hell, when they opened the sarcophagus of Tutankhamun, he was literally covered, his body was covered in dried blue lotus flowers. Some were whole, some were just the petals, but the whole sarcophagus
Makes you
was
wonder
just
if they
filled
started
with it.
hallucinating from opening that scene, the dust getting in there.
Ooh.
That's a good thought. Maybe that was the Pharaoh's curse.
Yes. Was getting in touch with your ancestors.
Apparently the ancestors didn't like what they... Some of them ancestors were probably not happy.
Literally, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
You're white. What are you doing in Egypt?
You are the wrong color.
So, where it gets a lot of its association with divination and everything like that is blue lotus induces euphoria to a degree. It's not on the level of cybacillins, it's not LSD, it's not acid, it's barely even THC level of high.
Nobody got it.
So the technical side behind this, hold on, I actually have to read my notes for this because big words. The petals produce a few compounds that are a sedative and a stimulant to the mind. This is done mainly through the two alkaloids, nuciferin and apelrine. And I probably fucked up both those words, and the sad part is I'm an herbalist and should be able to do that. Nuciferin acts as a dopamine receptor blocker, while apelrine is a dopamine agonist that activates dopamine receptors. Basically, this induces a euphoric feeling and causes you to not really hallucinate. This is a sedative for most people. You are going to sleep. This is going to induce a dreaming state. Even if you're one of those people that claims you don't dream, this will help induce a dreaming state. It got to such popularity in ancient Egypt that it was exported, to the ends of the Alexandrian Empire, into Tibet, into Greece, as far east as, Pakistan and the Indus Valley. It was heavily used worldwide because of this property and because of the aromatic qualities of it as well. The way I use it, the way we use it here in the shop, is we make a tea that has it's our shamanic dreaming tea, and one of the ingredients in it is blue lotus. Another one is mugwort and wormwood. It has a few other things in there to help kind of balance it out. I would tell everybody who buys it, I'm the one who made it, I'm the idiot who test drove it, don't fucking drink it. Smoke it, burn it as incense. If you want to drink it, that's you. You do you, boo-boo. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But understand, it is utterly fucking disgusting because mugwort and wormwood have a very heavy, metallic, acidic back taste in the back of your mouth, and it is horrible. There is not enough honey in the world to make that better. I honestly don't even think that would work.
Have a chaser.
Yeah, seriously.
A big one.
Hey, yeah, a straight large bottle of honey is your chaser. A whole bottle.
Yeah, I can see how that's.
But I personally use it as either a incense burning on coals, or I smoke it out of my pipe. There's nothing in there that you smoking it will cause really any issues. That's how I use it. You can drink it as a tea. It does have that capacity, but I would advise against that. It is one of those things that you will hear me say is it induces a euphoric state. It allows you to get into that lucid dreaming, deep meditation phase where you're still here, but you're not all the way here. You've got a little split in the middle, one side to the other of the veil. It greases the wheels to allow you to get through the veil much, much easier. So, personally, I enjoy the taste of Blue Lotus. I don't find it bad. Some people, however, may. Mugwort and wormwood, that stuff is horrible. Speaking of which, the next one is mugwort. Now that I've sat here and chat talking enough, I'm going to tell you about it. So, mugwort. Traditionally, mugwort has been used to both banish and clear out old memories, especially. You can use it to remove a lot more traumatic memories and things like that. Use it as part of your shadow work to do so.
Shadow.
Yes. It has been used to banish and clear out old memories and to induce a dreaming state. For divination, typically I use it for divination in the sense of astral projection, crossing the veil, dream walking, things like that. There's a lot of different terms. They all really mean the same thing. You're physically here, mentally you're not. So,
On a day-to-day basis.
so I was able to actually find an old folktale around mugwort, and surprisingly, but not really at the same time, there is a version of this folk story across Europe into Russia and parts of the Mediterranean, and it varies slightly depending on where you're hearing the story from and what culture it comes out of and everything like that. But so essentially, this version that I found that I actually liked more was the Russian version. So the Russian version speaks of a young girl who is out collecting mushrooms in the forest just before winter, falls into a deep pit filled with snakes, and surprisingly, the snakes don't harm her, but took care of her all through the winter, and when spring came, they formed a ladder out of the pit and allowed the girl to climb out. Before the girl left as a parting gift, the Serpent Queen taught her the language of plants, but told her if she ever spoke the name of mugwort, she would forget how to speak to plants. Many years later, she was walking on a path with her lover, and he asked, "What is that plant?" And without a thought, she said the word mugwort, and instantly forgot the language of plants and could no longer use them to heal people and heal livestock and things like that. There's an Italian version much along the same lines. There's 3 or 4 other versions I was able to find. But mugwort is one of those plants that it comes with its own warning built in. It is a plant of forgetfulness. You can overuse mugwort too much, and it will start to actually affect your memory. You will start to have a fog in your mind the more you use it, and it, to an extent, can become permanent. So it's one of those things, because of that, is one of those things that I particularly encourage people to limit. Not don't use it, but don't use it in an excessive amount. It falls into that category of too much of a good thing is bad for you. So a lot of what it's used culturally as well is it's used to cleanse divination equipment. So your scrying mirrors, your tarot cards, your crystal balls, like the space where you do your meditation, your lucid dreaming, your astral projection, things like that. Like in the Sami culture, you use a specific, not just any blanket, but a specific blanket that has been woven a certain way and had certain spell patterns put into it and everything like that. You basically lay on a floor and you cover yourself with this blanket. You can use mugwort smoke to clean that blanket, essentially, to cleanse it, to prepare it for rituals, to clean it after a ritual, things like that. So one of the last herbs we're going to go over is not really an herb. It's a tree resin. So this is copal resin. So copal comes from a group of trees predominantly found in southern Mexico, Central America, northern South America, and there's a few species that kind of run into the Caribbean and into Africa and everything like that. It's much along the line. It's a lot like the dragon's blood trees. There's species out of that family that are in that kind of same bandwidth around the equator. So white copal is, I have to move over here. White copal, the smoke from white copal is essentially used in a way. The smoke itself is what carries the message to your ancestors. In a lot of Mesoamerican tradition, that's how it's utilized. It is burned specifically in Mexico. It is burned on Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. And the smoke is used to carry your prayers, your messages to your deceased family members, to your ancestors. A few other religions in Central and South America use it in slightly different ways. It's used by a lot of shamans to cleanse and prepare altar spaces in preparations to speak with the gods, to speak with the ancestral spirits or the land spirits and things like that. It is a ingredient that you can use in a preparatory manner. It kind of, to me, it kind of smells like a citrusy pine. Mm-hmm. That's about the kind of the smell I get off of it, is a citrusy pine. I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Personally, I enjoy it. I enjoy the smell of copal.
Catnip for people.
But so another one of the things we're going to talk about is wormwood. So wormwood has a complicated history.
Not the public house.
Wormwood has a complicated history.
And not the liquor you can buy in the U.S.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. So wormwood was used as part of the ingredients to distill a liquor called absinthe. The Green Fairy. It was said to, for the reason it was, for umpteen fucking however long, it was illegal in the United States to have absinthe, specifically the Green Fairy, because it would make you hallucinate and trip your balls. It wasn't the wormwood. It wasn't anything in the absinthe. It was the fucking opium they were dripping on the sugar cubes and then lighting on fire and stirring it in the absinthe that was causing them to trip their balls. Yep. Wasn't the fucking absinthe, it was the fucking opium.
Damn opium.
But when you see it done in the movies and everything like that, they have it sitting on there. There's a specific spoon, an absinthe spoon. You place a sugar cube on top of it. You pour the absinthe over it, and then you light the sugar cube on fire. Well, prior to that, you actually dripped opium on it. It was never the absinthe. It was never the wormwood.
So you're supposed to eat the sugar cube and then
dump
drink
it into the glass and stir it.
Oh, and then take the shot.
And then you drink the absinthe, whether it's a shot or whether it's a taller glass and you're actually sipping on it like a wine.
So it wasn't the wormwood.
It wasn't the wormwood. It was the goddamn opium.
So to do it right, you need to get your hands on some liquid opium.
Hey, look, you do. I'm not. Look, I've been in that part of the world where that shit comes from. I'm not.
No, I'm not.
What day
I'm
will
good.
that lesson be taught?
Not by this motherfucker.
No, I'm.
You're swirling
I
stuff.
really mean that as far
In
as
a-
your knowledge of the world. That's literally
That is
you'd have to get your
traditionally-
hands
yeah.
on the liquid opium.
Traditionally,
Yes.
in Eastern Europe, once they actually started distilling absinthe, that is traditionally how it was consumed.
Yeah.
So that's a class not on camera and possibly on a Thursday. Got it.
Possibly not done by me or in this location because, look, I am on enough lists that I probably have my own NSA agent. No. I will not be involved. I will not be within a 10-mile radius. I will not have given notes.
If you are his agent, please say aye.
Anyways, wormwood.
What's up, Joe?
So, enough. You would have to consume enough absinthe of any brand, let alone Green Fairy. But you would die of alcohol poisoning twice over before you would actually consume enough wormwood to actually hallucinate. Wormwood is not a psychedelic like psilocybin mushrooms or LSD or acid. It's not a psychedelic at all. It is a psychoactive, like coffee, cigarettes. They're a psychoactive. They adjust the brain chemistry enough. But it's not a full, pink elephants riding purple zebras kind of thing. So, going over that with the herbs, traditionally that's what I traditionally use is those few ingredients. Because of getting to travel around the world, I've incorporated a few things that I've picked up from other practitioners and everything, like the copal resin and everything like that. So going into stones, I only really have a couple of stones that I can show you because I don't have any others on the list. The first one we'll show you is black obsidian. So the larger black beads are the ones I'm talking about, and this is one of our crafters up here who made this absolutely gorgeous mule deer necklace.
Thank you for showing us your stones, Justin.
And I'm gonna sip my tea on that one.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, it couldn't get a really good view of them. I'm wearing shorts today, so.
No kill.
So, with black obsidian, one second, I actually have to read the computer screen, so I have to put on my old man glasses.
Here, you can hold Justin's stones.
You sure you're not done fondling them?
I'm done. It's your turn.
They're making their
For
rounds.
anybody who's ever wondered if we're actually mature enough to be up here, most of us up here run around the maturity level of a 12-year-old.
It's time for his stones to make the rounds.
And this is why we're off camera.
So, black obsidian is used a lot in the... Typically when you'll see black obsidian in a divination capacity is people will actually make scrying mirrors out of it. It'll be a black obsidian scrying mirror. It's a natural glass that, when it is polished correctly, does have a mirror reflective surface. It's a naturally black glass. So your scrying mirrors are always going to be a black mirror, and it's a natural black mirror at that point. It's a natural scrying mirror, essentially. Sorry, English is hard. It's not a real language.
Nope. It's a combination of multiple.
And it's 3 languages in a trench coat waiting to mug other languages to get more. So.
Yes.
And then the next one I have that I actually have in the shop is quartz. Now I'm not going to show this to the camera because, well, it's quartz.
But which kind
It's
of
a
quartz?
clear rock. It's
I was
just
like,
quartz.
smoky quartz?
It's just
Rose
quartz. Just quartz. Just the regular old clear one.
It's like a jar of sand.
Yeah, much like a jar of sand.
Not pints, but quartz.
Yeah. Not pints, but quartz. Yes. So
It's just
the
another reason for us to fondle Justin's stones.
So the reason you would use quartz in a divination scenario is you're looking at the clarity aspect of it. It's the pure, natural, clear quartz, Herkimer diamonds as well, because they are just pristinely clear. You use them more as a tool to divine with, so making them into, if you have a large enough piece, crystal balls, pendulum points, divination lenses, things like that. You can actually turn them into a divination tool. So some of the other stones that we have are, that we don't actually have up here, but are listed as potential sources. So Amazonite, which enhances intuition and psychic powers. Let's see here. Amethyst, which stimulates psychic abilities and powers, telepathy, past life work, dreaming divination, psychic protection, and clairvoyance. Azurite, which increases insight, intuition, and clairvoyance. And then one that's not commonly associated with it is an emerald, which aids in knowledge of future events and consciousness. So, when it comes to divination, divination is a very large umbrella term that covers a lot of different processes, and that can be something from, gazing at a candle and judging the flicker of the flames and getting your divination from that to reading tea leaves, like I said earlier. It covers a broad spectrum of things. I mean, hell, some people would even classify going to the crossroads and, summoning a crossroads demon as divination work. And yes, I am a fan of supernatural.
It has to be abandoned in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, must be abandoned in the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
If you really want to do it right, you plant yarrow at that fucking crossroad.
Yep.
There is some accurate truth to that show. The writers of that show did their research, and I was very happy about that. It's why it was so good. I'm convinced.
Just why did it go on for so long?
Dreaming.
Dream walking. Dreaming in and of itself is, to an extent, divination work, because, like, say for example, someone like me, I haven't had the capacity to remember my dreams since after my first deployment. My subconscious has taken care of me in some form or fashion to where as soon as I wake up, I'll say, nah, I don't know, gone. But sometimes I can remember my dreams. And when it breaks through that much ingrained self-conscious layers of protection, at my point, I can only assume it's something I'm meant to know. It's something I'm meant to try and divine the meanings of. And typically they've got to either be really bad or really fucking weird for me to remember it, because it's the only way it happens.
But as a shaman, you usually use runes to divine with them too.
No, that's a new portion of my path that I've gone into. That is not something I've always done. I did not really read runes in that manner.
Okay.
Until very recently.
So that's a new adventure.
That's a new adventure for me, yeah. Personally, that's a new adventure for me.
So what did you used to use? Like, what did you used to do during...
My personal...
He avoided it like the plague.
I avoided it like the plague until the old man, basically.
Anyway, there's no reason to worry about it.
No, to answer your question, what I personally do is how I jokingly said, get fucked up and talk to my ancestors. That is legitimately what I do. There's a bit more to
He's
it
like,
than
I
that.
wasn't joking.
I wasn't joking. That's the boiled down, simplified version is I get fucked up and talk to my ancestors. But there is a personal ritual that I do to where I get in the right headspace, much like how we've said, grounding, protection. I set up an area that I specifically use. Fire is involved because, well, fire baby. And I will usually, depending on the seriousness of the scenario, I may smoke that shamanic dreaming blend. I may be like, oh no, this is kind of serious and I gotta go deep on this one. I'll make it into a tea, a really strong ass fucking tea, and force cold my nose and just shotgun that shit. It depends on the scenario and the situation as to what actually I have to do. I don't have a hard set rule on the way I do things, but it is a lot of, the best way I can describe it is a lot of prepared and then deep meditation, to the extent of still conscious lucid dreaming. It's in that, as I like to say, that gray in between conscious unconscious state, to where it's in the moment it's really hard to understand if I'm actually still awake or if I've already passed the fuck out. And I try to maintain that level for an extended period of time. I've met individuals who practice yoga, and that and don't quote me on this, and I'm sure I'm fucking up the whole way it works because I don't practice yoga. There is a certain point in yoga where you hit a specific phase, and it's typically a very small amount of time that it extends. This individual that I was having this conversation with was going to take our shamanic dreaming tea shortly before they did their full yoga process, and then it would basically timed out to where that would start to heavily affect them right as they hit that phase, and they were trying to extend that phase to 30 minutes to fuck around and see what happens. Another form of divination is typically like in the Norse practice. We believe our existence, body, soul, mind, however you want to rephrase it, is broken up into 9 parts. One of those parts is your hug, hugin. It is you, it is your thought. And it's believed that when you go to sleep, everyone projects their hug out of their body, regardless. But your hug typically stays within the circle of your sleeping body. The more you practice at it, the better you get at it. You can project your hug farther away. The old stories, and to an extent, be able to shove something else's consciousness aside and take over the body. The story of berserkers being able to transform into bears physically may literally have been them projecting their hug and taking over a bear, shoving its consciousness aside, and then controlling that bear's body. I mean, it could literally have been them, skin changing into a bear. But divination is one of those things that people will say it's divination. Well, I mean, shit, my granddaddy used to do divination. He water witched. And that's just a couple dead pieces of copper and finding spring heads. But it's divination. Divination is finding the lost answers, finding the things that are lost to seek. That trapped light, essentially, is a good way to describe it.
Huh?
I thought you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was just going to say that in my practice that I've messed with it, and in divination was a lot of contacting spirits, but not just not like you do where it's your ancestors. It's just spirits in general, and creating that bond and that connection and having helpers.
Yep.
And knowing which ones you can kind of trust and which ones you can't. I mean, you can never fully trust something from the other side.
The 2 guards, one of us always tells the truth, one of us tells nothing but lies. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, not really. It's because it's something that's not physical.
Yeah.
You always have to have that certain on guard. You kind of have to have checks that you have to do, and you kind of have to do them every time to make sure that who you're talking to is who you're talking to, what you're talking to is what you're talking to, that there's not something mimicking it.
Yeah.
Because there's things out there that will fuck with you.
Oh yeah.
And just because they can. I mean, I've used the Ouija board.
Yeah.
in my past.
For those of y'all who can't see him with his hand gesture, he is gesturing at the rug in front of the counter. That is a very large Ouija board.
Yeah, I've used those. My preferred method, honestly, is the pendulum. That has to be a very clear.
Never actually used one.
Has to be a very clear point with no cracks on a silver chain. Older the better.
Yeah.
That you can hold. So, I mean, it's just you can do it in many different forms. Like I'm saying, it's just from my roots, especially from Southern Louisiana and stuff like that. It's it's a lot of dealing with the other side. It's dealing with that spirit world and divinating through that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So who else has done some sort of divination work that they feel comfortable talking about? I'm not asking anybody to if they don't want to, but
Like, so you mentioned the water witching.
Yeah.
I use dowsing rods as my divination, just like you use a pendulum.
Yes.
You can use the yes, no, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love those.
Well, I like the pendulum because I can do that. I feel safe doing that on my own. I would never suggest somebody touching a Ouija board. A Ouija board is great.
Oh yeah,
It is a great tool. It is not a toy, and I feel like too many people use it as a toy. They don't respect it. There are certain rules, there are certain traditions, there are certain things that you need to research and do and learn before you touch that tool. I will not get into that. If you want to go down that, research it, do your own, find somebody that has history with it, learn before you touch it. The one thing I will tell you on camera is that never, ever, ever touch a Ouija board by yourself.
Never.
Yeah.
It takes at least two. In most cases, more.
And I would suggest adding on to that you go down to places like, southern Louisiana and find one of them old practitioners that's got 10 years fucking with a Ouija board and get them to teach you if they will.
The other
Good
thing.
luck at getting it done.
The other warning that another thing about it is
Don't touch it.
if you're going to mess with a Ouija board, find a new Ouija board. Yes, I understand the old ones, the antique ones. Yes, they carry power. Yes, they are pretty. Yes, they have that allure. You also, unless you absolutely know what you are doing, they can come with things attached to them. And if you don't know what you're doing, an old Ouija board can be a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah. So you were talking about using dowsing rods as part of your divination.
Yeah, that's basically what I use. Like asking questions, not only just finding literally anything, not just water.
Yeah, because you can do the yes/no.
Yeah, but yeah, no.
So I have a question. So are you supposed to use different material rods to find different things, or can you use one material to,
The first dowsing rods that I ever picked up before I'd ever done any kind of divination ever was hangers with plastic tubing on them.
Nice.
And my mom was like, "Hey, look, these cool things. We got them in our Master Naturalist class." And and the minute I picked them up, I was like, "Oh, these are fun." And immediately they started, doing anything that I wanted. They helped put cats away because all the cats were hiding.
That's odd. Usually they like want to be up in the middle of that.
Yeah, you'd think that. No.
Yeah.
So
Mine definitely does not.
Yeah.
You had what we would call a calling,
Yeah.
a natural calling.
Yeah. So, but one of the things, every time I work with them, once I'm done, I always make sure that I say thank you. And then they swing back around and they touch my arms, and that's, how I close the session. Nobody ever taught me to do that. I just started doing it.
It's just
Yeah.
a natural way to just
respectful.
be nice. Have manners.
CJ,
act
be
like you were
nice.
taught them.
That's why Ginger likes me more.
So, the material really doesn't matter
As far as I know, it really
from
doesn't.
your personal
From my
experience.
personal experience. Now, I do have a set of copper ones,
Mm-hmm.
and they do work really well. I use them to witch every leaf on a state park water line. And, they work really well. Worked better than the hanger ones my mom was using. She
Yeah.
also has the same abilities. But, so I think copper might be better, but I think that's just a magnetism thing with the water.
Yeah. So I had a question specifically about the water witching. So the way I was taught to do it by my granddaddy was you have the bent hangers or copper rods or whatever. I think his were actually copper. Fucking essentially when you find the spring head and it crosses, essentially you sit there and you picture the spring head that is below you, and essentially you stomp your foot until it fully uncrosses, and essentially however many stomps it takes to get it fully uncrossed, that's how many feet it is down.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I can do that. I didn't do that because I knew how deep the line was.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But
yeah.
no, you can. I should probably do that in my backyard because I know one of those lines is leaving.
Yes, you should.
But yeah, no, that's what I was told as well.
Okay.
We need to bring your dowsing rods to Uppsala, by the way, so we can start looking for the water.
Oh, okay.
There's an actual spring underneath them.
A couple of them.
So, as a person who is very, very considered an eclectic witch,
Or as I like to say, buffet witches. Ain't
Yeah.
nothing bad with it,
no,
but it accurately describes it.
yes, I pick up a whole multitude of things. Absolutely love all of it. Can't keep track of any of it. As a person who's still kind of stepping feet into divination, I know pendulums are an easy way in. But are there any other ways? Because my pendulums, I love them to death. Sometimes they don't want to work with me.
Pendulums. I will tell you that you have to have a relationship. Like you say you have pendulums. When I was doing it, I had a pendulum.
Oh,
I only had one.
I have one specifically I use all the time.
Yeah.
I just have another one because it was like when I first got them, they were kind of a deal. And like, so,
Yeah.
like my stone that I use all the time is labradorite. Like my pendulum is made, like my main one's made out of labradorite. I have a backup that's a rainbow moonstone.
It's on the list.
Check out.
Yeah, check.
The best thing I can say
Psychic
is
development clarity.
it may be the stones. I mean, they may not focus the energies. I mean, spirits may have a harder time speaking through them. I've never personally tried different stones to do it with. I have always used as clear a quartz point as I could get because it gives kind of the clearest signal. Is what I was taught from the person I learned from. And I have generally been able to pick up any kind of a clear point or a pretty clear point, hang it from a chain, and get some kind of a signal out of. But I've also learned that I have a strong potential for that. It's that way. Not everybody can do that.
Okay.
Because we had people when we were learning that they could hold a pendulum and couldn't get anything out of it. Like it wouldn't do jack.
I get a little bit, but they get like little. They're like, I don't really want to do this. Yeah.
And like I said, you may be pulling it, but that may not be your preferred method of divination.
Yeah. I mean, like,
And I truly feel that people have a preferred method of divination
like for example,
that's
Gentry,
easier to do.
You know, Gentry can read tarot and oracle decks, easy as shit. Both of them.
Yeah. No,
She
I can't.
prefers oracle decks. She just enjoys the artwork that comes with oracle decks more. She has more of an attachment to oracle decks than tarot. Crystal's the same way. She can read oracle and tarot decks, but she prefers tarot decks because she feels she has a easier time utilizing that tool specifically. I mean, there are people who, I mean, that crystal ball that sits over on the side of our counter. There are people who can use those. I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand the beginning basics of a crystal ball.
Nope.
I know you need to keep it covered, not because of spirits or anything, but if the sun hits that bitch weird, it's going to burn your fucking house down.
I see an insurance claim in your
I see an insurance claim in your future.
But no, that's the best thing I could tell you is that maybe find the crystal or stone that works best for you if you're having trouble with pendant or points, and just practice. It could be that you're not getting a strong spirit attachment to it from the other side, because not all spirits move it the same way. You'll get some that can barely move it, and you'll get others that will swing that thing.
Yep.
I had that happen one time. It was like a month after I got it, and it was just swinging, and I said, okay, I get it. But after that, it's just. But I since I've moved since then, that's probably another reason why. Like, I should have cleansed everything I have, but I have to find everything I have.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best advice I can give when it comes to
turn
that.
my attic into my practice area.
A lot of people used to do that back in the day.
Yeah.
Why?
Like in southern Louisiana, especially, there's those rooms off to the side of an attic. Typically, they're called hoodoo rooms.
Yeah, so off topics for a moment. I finally was able to get up into my attic and realize, like, the old tenants left some stuff up there. Like, they left 2 dog crates, which is hilarious because I have 2 dogs. So they're mine now. But also, they left something. I was like, hey, I can curse somebody, no problem, but I can't handle curses very well because I'm not that well trained. I gave it to her.
So she gives it to me.
It was an exact replica of a scroll from the Dead Sea in a ceramic jar.
Okay.
It was in my attic. I picked it up. I was like, I know the perfect person to give this to because she would love it. So I gave it to her, and after she accepted it, I said, oh yeah, like that. I just found it in my attic, and I don't trust it. So here you go.
Wow.
It hasn't caused her any problems.
Quick question.
That's fortunate.
You said where you're living, you're renting.
Yes.
You may need to claim it a little bit more.
Oh, we're planning on it because I also had somebody just moved in down the street that I don't want to deal with. So.
But
Spiritual thing.
I don't do a lot, but the stuff that I can do depends on whether or not where you are is yours in some way.
I'm slowly doing it. The reason why I haven't fully claimed it is because we still have to rip up all the ground and the grass. We still have to fix some of the fencing, and so like I claim parts of it, but I don't want to claim it, and a lot of it get ripped out.
No, I understand.
Well,
I claim
I
it.
didn't laugh.
claiming property is you can do it all in one shot. I'm not saying you can't. You can establish more of a much more heavier, deeper connection, doing it periodically over time. Like, for example, while you're going in and fixing the fences, you're claiming what you're working on. While you're doing the yard work and everything, you're claiming that property, and you're adding in this layer and layer and layer of connection to the land itself. And eventually, at a point where if it is part of your practice, you offer a sacrifice to the land. Doing so also ties you harder into the land.
That being said, nature can claim it back.
Yes.
Yes.
What I live where I live in a rental right now too. What I did is very purposefully along the lines of, while I'm here, this is mine. Like, no, I may have to give this up. I know I may have to give this up. While I'm here, this is mine. You've seen mine.
Yeah. And there are people who, much like how he's alluding to, they hang stuff from trees. It can be anything. It can be something that's very specific to their culture, or, in his case, specific to his family.
Baby doll hit.
No.
Right.
No.
Bog trees.
Up, down, sideways, inside and out. No.
But that could be what's blocking your divination right now, is that the previous tenants have ties to that property and you haven't fully claimed it. Mm-hmm. Therefore, you're not able to do your
You're basically trying
divination
to
fully.
dial it out, and you're not doing the long distance code.
Yeah.
Don't remind me of that. I hate the fax machine. I'm going to kick it every time.
Please
But
dial 9 to come
Yeah.
back in.
But some people just need a stronger antenna. That's why, if you're not getting a good result from pendulums, you may need to find somebody you're comfortable with that is comfortable with it, and step up to a Ouija board.
No.
No.
and
No.
it may not even be the tool that you need to adjust. You may just need to, essentially, speaking along the lines of an antenna, attach a booster to it.
That's true.
Stuff like, things like this, like
Or what kind of chain is it on?
a
I
divination
think it's over.
spell candle, a divination spell jar, a divination bath ritual, incense, something along those lines to
Did I bring my money? I did.
amplify it. I mean,
So the
there's
firecracker isn't working. Try a nuclear bomb.
Okay.
it's not the wrong theory. It's not. It's really
But
not.
you also
if you can't blow up the bunker with a stick of dynamite, drop a nuke.
Exactly. Drop a missile. Yeah.
No kill like an overkill.
But you may try a different chain,
Yeah,
a different silver chain,
Yeah,
or
a
it may
different
be
chain.
the purity.
And it may not need to be silver. It may need to be brass. It may need to be copper. It may need to be.
It may need to be gold for
Yeah,
you.
gold. It's shit. Who knows?
What?
It may not
Gold
need to.
is my thing.
It may be the fact that it could be the metal. It could also be the fucking shape of the stone. That's why I say divination is one of those things that it's a fucking giant umbrella, and even in the tiny little shit under the umbrella, it's a fucking another umbrella. So it's a fucking lot of layers. It's a fucking warren.
Kind of like shielding. I can tell you what works for me. He can tell you
Yeah.
what works for him.
So how did you find out that it's what works best for you? Did you just try a lot of different things, or was it just like you said with her, just like a call?
Honestly, the person that I learned from, that is the technique she used, and she was with it. I picked it up and it was like a lightning rod, kind of like she did with the rods. And pendulums with me work. It's like pulling lightning.
Yeah.
So we'll just smorgasbord all of the divination techniques and let you sample.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much.
I am an eclectic person.
It might be situational based. There might
But-
be certain ones that work better given different situations.
Because honestly, it was one of those things. It shocked my teacher. She was like, honestly, you're one of the only people I've ever seen just straight pick it up, and it worked. And it works with whatever you touch. She said it's the freakiest thing she'd ever seen. Borderline, it's a gift with me to do it that way.
I didn't mean to squirrel. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's kind of like doing a Ouija board. I can take that, write it on a piece. I can personally write it on a piece of paper and make it work as good as any old Ouija board you've ever found in your life.
So I'm gonna scoot this way. Got it.
He's not doing it in my house.
But you have to,
And he knows that.
but you have to understand. I can
We'll
also
get more in depth on that topic once that camera goes.
yeah.
Once we shut the live down, we'll go a bit more in
Well,
depth.
and then
on
we've got
Ouija
people
boards.
on my end of the spectrum. The future's going to happen anyway.
But no, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm just saying that there's just people that it's a natural gift to. It's not one I asked for. It's not one I personally like. I know that it's there.
Yeah. Some people are born with the ability to have prophetic dreams. That is not exactly from the people I have talked to that do have that gift, curse, however you want to phrase it.
There's a reason Cassandra's tears is not a compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for a lot of people that I've talked to, they do not view it as a gift, they view it as a curse. Because as a burden, essentially. Not really a curse, but as a burden. Because the way a lot of their prophetic dreams work, they will have it, they'll remember it, they'll forget it, and then all of a sudden the
It
shit will go
happens.
down, and they'll be like, fuck!
Deja vu.
That's a form of divination?
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that same boat.
There's a reason
I
it's
didn't
called
know
a
that.
deja vu moment.
I didn't know that constant deja vu was a form of divination.
Yes.
Prophetic dreams.
Yep.
That's why I work really hard to remember my dreams.
That's why I literally call it paper clips. And that's, she would hear me like, paperclip time. Or, I've been here.
Where you basically something is happening in your dreams, and then you forget it, and then you go in life, and then all of a sudden that event starts, and then all of a sudden, poof! It's crystal clarity. Like, fuck! I've seen this before.
It's
I know.
Typically 2
I know.
weeks in between for me.
Yeah, and dream reading is that's one
It's
of those
hard.
fucking things. It is very, very, very fucking difficult, in my opinion, personally. And I've met people who can just listen to someone they have never met in their life describe a dream, and that person can perfectly illustrate it to them exactly what that dream means and be 100% fucking accurate, no smoke up the ass at all. And it's fucking scary. And then I've met people that they have to be in the right frame of mind and have to have a deep connection with that individual to be able to read their dreams. It's one of those things. It's one of the, in my opinion, dream reading is one of those things. You either got the talent or you fucking don't. And maybe you can develop it, maybe you can't, but
Same thing with palm reading.
yeah, palm readers, yeah, God fucking love them because
I know a couple of people. Apparently, I've got a weird palm.
yeah, there are folks out there who can read palms legitimately.
Like you can learn it.
We have a book over there
yeah.
that's about palm
I've
reading
read my
that's
own
fucking
palms.
50, 60 years old. It's
Not hearing me while you're talking about palm reading.
Yeah, no, I've had.
but it's right there, just over your shoulders.
We're not talking about your hairy palms.
It's
Sorry, I'm blinded.
It's about 60 years old. It's actually my wife's dad's book, and he was from West Virginia, up in the hollers. So that it kind of tells you about that book. I've opened it once to look at it and then immediately shut it. There's
What I read a long time
that's an
ago.
old book.
Oh,
That book's got that book ain't just a book.
It's got some history.
Yeah, that book's got some history. It's got a story behind it. And
You don't want
Yeah.
to tell it.
someone's meant to tell that story, not me.
Yeah.
Not my story to tell.
Yeah.
I was
But,
just making
so-
sure I was looking at the
Yeah, and then if your hand creates
Is that bad?
air
Yeah.
So essentially,
That's another meaning.
that's kind of it for the divination class.
Yeah.
I would, me personally, if this is something you're wanting to further in your practice,
Like I looked
Give
at
it
the
some
palm
thought.
reading, you can't tell.
do try a lot of different
Apparently, I have
things.
weird.
There were too many
But-
idiosyncrasies to it.
On things like Ouija boards and things like that, please do so with the
That's all I remember.
understanding that you need somebody there with you. Someone
Yeah.
who is a more skillful practitioner and everything like that, someone to watch your ass.
Same thing with astral projection.
Same thing with astral projection, same thing with dream walking and things like that. You need especially with dream walking and astral projection, you need a protector.
Yeah.
You need a guardian. Because if that
You need
Brad
somebody
gets
on this
snipped.
side.
you're done. You're gone forever.
you.
End of story. So, next upcoming events we have.
Uppsala every weekend.
Yes, this weekend officially starts the opening of the Uppsala Spring Market.
Come see us.
Yes, 2 of the cast members are present with us and have been the last couple of weeks.
I'm the loud one in the background.
Yeah. It's really awesome. The property is coming along amazingly well. My wife and my family and I, we were out there this past Sunday setting up and everything like that. It looks awesome. The cannon is loud as hell.
And it's only this big.
Yeah, it's a very small cannon, but the way it's pointed and it's pointed downhill, it just kind of reverberates through the area. It
Nice.
sounds exactly like a 60 millimeter impacting,
Nice.
especially when you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Um,
We have Tag Rainbow Market the 13th.
Yep. Next
Yeah.
weekend is Tag and Rainbow.
We have Aspen on the 20th.
Yep.
And we have Austin Witch Fest on the 28th.
Yes. The end of this month is Austin Witch Fest.
We will be closed the last week in April
Yes.
and the first week in May.
Yep. By appointment only. If you need to get stuff from us and everything like that, please call. I will say again, we are probably not your 3 a.m. friends.
No.
You're fine. You're
There
Is
is.
this hours or a thing?
There is an updated schedule list on the B page.
Yes, there is an updated schedule list on the Bees page. Our
Thanks to her.
technological wizard behind the
Yes.
other end of the camera has taken care of that.
And then Beltane Market will be the
First week in May.
4th and 5th.
Yeah. Please get out, support your local crafters, see the smaller shows. None of us would be able to do anything like this without people actually coming out to shows and supporting their local crafters and not ordering everything off of Temu and Amazon. We thank you for that immensely, not ordering everything off Temu and Amazon. But no, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good night.
Let me know when that's on.
Smooth connections. You know.